This is my medicine cabinet, and I just want to show you. These were the bottles in here. So I have my birch polypore. And then I had the red belted conch and the velvet top. I was transferring them into these black jars. And then I bought the vodka I bought the vodka to top it up because I didn't have, when I did my medicine last year, I bought 6 bottles of vodka for them to make my medicine. I didn't seal them properly, and so what happened is they evaporated slowly over the year and a bit. So I bought 2 bottles of vodka today to top them up. And because I needed to be able to speak and explain what happened. And I know because I spoke up, I lost my $30, but sometimes speaking up is more important than $30. And so it's like, I think I did fairly good. It was a little bit hard. Yeah, there's definitely places that I could tweak in how I managed the situation, but going through it, I said to myself, do your very best. Yeah, you're making some mistakes, but you're practicing standing up for yourself and, having a voice. I think I did really good. I'm happy with how that went for the most part, because it's important that I didn't get run over. Okay, yeah, I'm tired. I'm tired. Yeah, so I lost the $30, but I didn't lose my voice. And so I guess $30 is worth not losing your voice and making a stand. And so now I don't do business there anymore. Well, it's not funny, but one of the things I've learned about speaking out is it's hard sometimes. But speak the truth even if your voice shakes. So I know when I went through that, my voice was shaking. But I just kept saying, breathe. Do your very best. And speak your voice. And everybody involved in that today had equal amount of time to speak their voice. And I just made sure that they didn't run me over. And it cost me $30 not to get run over today. And maybe a little bit more. We'll wait and see how it unravels. Because she did say she had pressed charges. And so bullying needs to, we use fear, intimidation, isolation, guilt, and things like that. So, abuse happens in private businesses, abuse happens in private homes, it happens in public, and it's not acceptable anywhere. And I think a better term for this right now is our constitutional rights. Like, why would I want to come back to your store if the package I'm trying to return is tampered with. Like the seal's gone, and all I wanted was an exchange. I didn't want my money back. I just wanted an exchange. And she was just really snotty. We don't do that. And I'm just like, wow, your product, the bottle was tampered with. And so I will share this video. The other one will be in private, just as I wait to see what unfolds or doesn't unfold. And so the other video will be kept in private. And this one I will share and go live. Frontal lobe thinking. I think in that experience, I experienced the child's brain, but that was a really good exercise in the sense that I was really able to acknowledge I'm feeling that child brain response. And when I was acknowledging that and I was going through that, I was practicing the frontal lobe thinking. And yeah, it wasn't perfect, but I spoke the truth, even when my voice shaked. And there's rules and laws. Yes, I know, but far too often people get ripped off and abused because of certain laws and rules. And rules are really important. I'm actually big on rules. I'm a rule person, but rules are there to be challenged. And if, you know, I'm returning a tampered package that hasn't even been used, it's completely full, and I'm returning it within less than a half hour after I bought it, showing what happened. And all I wanted was an exchange. And she said, well, we can't put it back on the shelf. And I said, well, I know exactly. You have to throw it out. Okay, I can share this video. And okay, so it's a little bit hard. Yeah, the child brain is there for sure, the child brain feelings, reactions. And then the ability for me to acknowledge that and then acknowledge it all the way through, even when I was experiencing it, and saying, how do I move into the frontal lobe thinking? And I'm going back and forth between trying so hard to, you know, speak my voice, stand up for my rights. And there is this thing with the child brain and the frontal lobe thinking that's going on. So there's lots of mistakes made. But within that, where the win is the acknowledgement of, yeah, when you have a lot of brain challenges with the brain injuries and the autism and dyslexia, just the fact that I'm going, hey, I'm feeling the child brain right now. But that doesn't mean run. That doesn't mean go away, put your tail between your legs and run or hide. You can stand your ground and acknowledge that, hey, part of this is the child brain reaction. But I'm fully aware of that. In that moment, I'm fully aware. And so it's like an exercise. And so even if I'm making mistakes, I'm saying to myself, I'm also not making mistakes. And so, and there's consequences in life. So when this is why a lot of people won't stand up. And because there's consequences, like this might not be over. And when I'm in that moment, I say, okay, I'm acknowledging, yeah, there's likely might be consequences. But what can I learn from it, even the consequences? And so I'm just thinking, I'm just so casually walking over. I walked over once and then, you know, just really relaxed and getting the vodka. And then I get home and I thought, you know what? I've got things to do tomorrow. I'm just going to walk back over right now, tell them what happened, and ask them just for an exchange. Because I couldn't use the broken seal in my medicine. And then when I get in there and I just said, oh, I just want an exchange, I told them what happened, that the seal was broken. And then she was very snotty, just like, oh, we don't do that. And I'm just like, oh, like I just threw $30 out the door, 30 plus with tax. All I'm asking for is an exchange. And she's just really snotty. So now I have to think too, okay, if I'm at a store down in the future and I need an exchange, and so you're walking in here and you're thinking, you know, this is just going to go really smooth. I'm going to go in, explain what happened. And I'm used to dealing with companies that, you know, they trust their customers. And so, I hardly ever do returns. But I'm used to, when I go up, it's just like, there's no question asked. I hardly ever return anything anywhere. And so when I do, I've just never had any questions asked. And I wasn't returning it, I was asking for an exchange. And so when she was really snotty, what I can ask myself, okay, so I'm so used to being treated with respect and getting my money back or getting an exchange. I'm always used to that. It going really smooth. So it takes me off guard when she's just like really snotty, like, we don't do that. No, and just like, no. And I was like, it was her attitude. And I was like, it took me back. Okay, so now, this is where these are good exercises, because there is the limit right there where there's that child brain, and with a brain injury and everything too, it's really tough. But I do a lot of homework to practice. So right away I'm realizing, like, I'm sort of like, excuse me. I just spent it, like, I got the receipt. It was like less than a half hour ago. I just wanted an exchange. And so her attitude, so I have to think about the attitude part. So if this happens to me again, and I walk in somewhere and I'm just thinking, oh yeah, I'll exchange. It always goes really well. Return, exchange, whatever. And I get met with that again. Remember, I'm thinking with my frontal lobe, and I'm also thinking with my child brain. And so, okay, so I can look back at this experience and say, I can not say that there was not an element of my child brain that I was like, ugh, that I was experiencing in this experience. But my awareness that right away, ding, this is what's happening. Like, I know what's going on. And so then I'm going, frontal lobe. And so I worked my way through that thinking, frontal lobe thinking. Was it perfect? No. Did I try my best? Yes. And with both the store owner and the RCMP. And so when it's all over, don't get me wrong, because that could get you in handcuffs. That could get you arrested. And so I'm just like, but in my mind, I'm going, no, I am speaking. I'm not yelling. I want to get out what happened, because she kept changing her story and it was something different all the time. And she was going, even when she was calling for the police, her story kept changing. And so that's why when I'm talking to the police, I need to talk. And then he asked me a question. He goes, what? And he goes, and so I go to answer his question and he's like, I'm done with you. And I'm just like, you just asked me a question. I'm trying to answer it. So anyways, but I kept telling myself, no, stand your ground. Julie, you are not doing this perfectly. You are not. But you just acknowledged the moment that situation happened that, yeah, you're feeling the child brain. You're feeling that. That's a huge success. And so then all my way through that, I was fully aware and practicing to use frontal lobe thinking. And it wasn't perfect. And I'm going to tell you something. A lot of times we don't stand up for ourselves because there is consequences. Okay, so the lady said that, I'm pressing charges. Okay, but I kept going with it. And so I've been sick for a really long time since the first brain injury and the second brain injury. When I say sick, it's not like I have a disease that needs to be cured. It's like I have brain damage. And so just getting to the grocery store, just cooking my meals, just going for walks, just doing the basics is really, really hard. And so, and so when I go through that, I tell myself, I did not do a perfect job of that. But I know what was in my mind. It was just like, that's not very nice. That's really, and you're really snotty to me. All I wanted is another bottle for my medicine, exchanged right across. And she was just really snotty. And I'm out $30, but okay, now that I'm missing the point. The point that I was trying to make is that now it's over, and like the police officer said, he goes, now this is over. It's over. And so I go, okay, so it's over. And we're done. Yeah, and that's true. And so I was kind of filming going away, but then he said, no, you leave the premises. Oh, you're right. See, but my brain, that's the brain injury. I'm not defying him. Okay, so he gave me a second prompt. You have to leave because you're not allowed here. And okay. So then I filmed myself coming all the way home so that they can't say that I was still there, because she kept changing her story. It kept changing. And so I was just like, I'm going to do my live all the way home. Now, that live won't be going public, hopefully not at all. But if she does press charges, it's something I can use this video and also the other video for the judge. And so I will take everything that I have to go through as a learning experience coming forward. But what I was trying to say, and I'm going a little bit in circles right now, is that when you stand up for yourself, you're going to make mistakes. And but speak the truth even if your voice shakes. But when you're doing that, always try to ask yourself, is that the other person also be given opportunity to speak? And they were, both the police officer and the other lady. And always ask yourself that throughout that. And I tried really hard through that. I let them talk and then respond. And the police officer was like, can I speak now? And I said, well, can I just finish my statement? And so he let me do that. And he had a bit of an attitude like, oh, no, I'm done listening to you. But that's okay. I'm glad I kept talking with him. And that's the reason why I lost my $30, because he probably went into the store and just said, yeah, don't give her $30. Because he even told me, if you keep talking, he said, then you're not going to get your money back. But I kept talking. And he went in, and that's why I didn't get my money back. But I spoke. I just wanted an exchange for the bottle of 100% proof Smirnoff. That's all I wanted. Okay, so when you speak, you're going to make mistakes. And when you make mistakes, yes, there's going to be consequences, and they can be horrible consequences. But speak your truth even when your voice shakes. Okay, so now if there's consequences coming, they will either show up in the mail, or sometimes they have to deliver it by door. Whatever it is, it'll come. And just say, Julie, Remember, when you speak up, that doesn't mean there's not consequences. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't speak up. Okay. Now I'm exhausted. I need to go meditate. I will share this video, and I will just save the other one in private in case to see how this unfolds. I'll go on with my life. And like the police officer said, this is done. Okay, let's go with that. This is done. I'm not going back to that story and begin my vodka somewhere else. And so that's done, yeah. So just never go back. And go get your vodka somewhere else. And then if something comes of it, and I get something in the mail from the court, well then, so that right now what the police officer says, this is done, this is over. And yeah, and he went back in, no, you don't get your money back at this time. Okay. All right. I gotta go sit down, but I'm pretty tired. But now we'll see what happens. But I will share this one. And now what I'm gonna learn, because this is adrenaline. Like I feel, yeah, so it's gonna cause me a lot of tiredness now. And so through that, now this is, you just have to work down after how hard that was to get through. And, you know, and now comes the point, it is over, at least for now. And the part that's over is, yeah, I don't go back to that store. The part that's over is, yeah, I didn't get my money back. That's over. And then I move forward. Like, it's done to me. I'm glad I stood my ground. It's done to me. And I'm going to go with that. That is just over. But in the back of my mind, just be ready. If there's going to be consequences. And there's always consequences. So. And then that'll be another exercise for me to get through.